You got the interview. First of all, congratulations, because your resume did its job. Something on that piece of paper made somebody say, I want to know more about this person. But now the resume can't do the talking for you. They've seen your experience, they've seen your education, they've seen your skills. Now they want to meet the person behind all of that. And this is where some extremely qualified people start talking themselves out of opportunities. We get nervous, we ramble, we minimize our accomplishments, we forget what we've done, or we become so focused on giving the perfect answer that we stop having an actual conversation. An interview isn't about being perfect. It's your opportunity to connect your experience to their problem and show them why you can help solve it. So today, we're walking through that interview from the opening question all the way through the close. Let's get you prepared. And here it comes. Tell me about yourself. Please don't start at birth. They aren't asking for your autobiography. This is your opportunity to position yourself for the role. Give yourself about 60 to 90 seconds. Start with where you are professionally. Then give them the experience that's relevant to this position. Tell them what you bring, your strengths, skills, and the value you've delivered. And finish with where you're headed and why this opportunity makes sense. That's it. And practice this out loud. There's a huge difference between knowing something in your head and hearing yourself actually say it. Don't memorize it. You know why? It sounds robotic. Practice until the story feels natural. Because this first answer can set the tone for your entire interview. Quick career elevation break. Because if conversations like this help you, I want you to know we're taking them beyond YouTube. MsKnowledge Official is now on Eventbrite. I'm building free and paid classes, workshops, and live experiences around career elevation, resume and career development, professional growth, knowledge building, and real conversations. This is about giving you opportunities to actually learn, practice, ask questions, and build. So follow MsKnowledge Official on Eventbrite. You'll be able to see what's coming, reserve your seat, and find new classes and events as they're added. Learn with me, build with me, elevate with me. Follow MsKnowledge Official on Eventbrite. Now, let's get back to that interview. Listen to the words you're using when you talk about yourself. I just handled it. We worked on. I was only responsible for. I think. Words matter. Instead of, I just handled it, tell them I led it. And here's how I handled it. Instead of hiding behind we, say my team and I accomplished this. And my specific responsibility was. That's not arrogance, that's clarity. If you created the process, say you created it. If you led the project, say you led it. If you analyzed the data and made the recommendation, say that. You're not stealing anybody else's credit. You're finally giving yourself yours. Behavioral questions are where your experience needs to come alive. Tell me about a time when. Give me an example of. Describe a situation where. Don't give them a two-sentence answer. Tell the story. Use STAR. Situation, task, action, and result. I like adding one more piece. Reflection. What did you learn? because that tells me whether you simply survived the situation or actually grew from it. And pay special attention to the action. What did you do? Then give me the result. Numbers are powerful when you have them. Maybe satisfaction increased 28%. Maybe escalations decreased 35%. Maybe you reduced processing time. Maybe you improved retention. Help them see your impact. Some of us were taught so well to be team players that we've completely disappeared from our own accomplishments. There's a balance. Give the team credit for the win and take ownership of your role. My team executed the plan and I led the project. I created the process and my team brought it to life. I analyzed the data, made the recommendation, and together we delivered the results. See the difference? You're not saying you did everything, you're explaining what you contributed. And particularly when you're interviewing for leadership positions, they need to know that. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's self awareness. Quick break because career elevation isn't the only kind of growth happening around here. This is Root Authority hair oil. I created Root Authority as part of a consistent scalp and hair care routine using ingredients including jojoba, grapeseed, cold pressed castor, squalane, pumpkin seed, fenugreek, vitamin E, rosemary, peppermint, tea tree, lavender, and clove blood. And my message with Root Authority is the same thing I tell you about everything else. Consistency matters. The 2-ounce bottle is $15. The 4-ounce bottle is $25. And Root Authority is available through the MsKnowledge official shop. Strong roots, stronger you. Now back to this interview. Now, they ask you something you didn't prepare for, and your brain says, oh shit. Don't panic. Pause. A few seconds of silence feels much longer to you than it does to the interviewer. You can say, that's a great question. Give me a moment to think about that. If you don't understand, ask them to clarify. And if you haven't experienced that exact situation, don't lie. Say, I haven't encountered that exact situation, but here's how I would approach it. Remember 4 things: pause, clarify, connect it to something you do know, then respond. You don't have to know everything. Sometimes they're evaluating how you think when you don't know. Here comes another dangerous question. Why did you leave your previous position? And you're sitting there thinking, my manager was terrible, the place was toxic. They laid me off after everything I gave them. How much time y'all got? No, that's not what we gonna do. Tell the truth. Don't tell the whole damn story. The interview is not the place to unpack the trauma. If you were laid off, say your position was impacted by organizational changes and you're focused on your next opportunity. If the environment wasn't right, talk about seeking greater alignment or growth. If you were terminated, be honest about the position ending. Own what you need to own, explain what you learned, and move forward. Your previous employer is part of your story. They don't get to control your next chapter. What are your salary expectations? And some of y'all immediately start negotiating against yourselves. Well, I don't know. Whatever you think is fair. No. Do your research before the interview. Know the market, know the position, know your experience, and know your range. You can say, based on my experience and the scope of this position, I'm targeting a range of X to Y, although I'm open to discussing the total compensation package. Salary isn't everything. Benefits, flexibility, PTO, bonuses, growth opportunities, and other compensation matters too. But don't apologize for discussing money. Employment is an exchange. They're evaluating the value you can provide. You should be evaluating whether the compensation reflects it. What are your weaknesses? Please don't say, I'm a perfectionist. And definitely don't say, I don't have any. They're not necessarily trying to expose you, they're looking for self awareness. Choose something real that isn't a fundamental requirement of the position. Name it, own it, tell them what you're doing about it, then show your progress. For example, I've had a tendency to take on too much because I care about the outcome. I've been intentionally improving how I delegate by establishing clear responsibilities and trusting my team to own their work. That's a weakness, but it's also self awareness, accountability, and growth. You don't have to be perfect. You need to show that you're progressing. Now they ask, do you have any questions for us? Yes, you absolutely do. Remember, you are interviewing them too. Ask what success looks like in the role. Ask about the biggest challenges facing the team. Ask how they would describe the leadership style. Ask why the position is available. Ask what the next steps are and pay attention to their answers because getting an offer doesn't automatically mean you should accept it. Then close confidently. Thank them for their time, reinforce your interest, and remind them briefly what you can bring to the position. And leave knowing that you represented yourself well. Your resume got you noticed. The interview allowed them to meet the value behind it. So before your next interview, I want you to practice 3 accomplishments out loud without saying just, only, or minimizing one damn thing. Give the team their credit and give yourself yours. You earned that experience. Now learn how to talk about it. You can, you will, watch me.